Y'all ever seen that show Mythbusters where they just do all these experiments to bust myths? Strap in. Welcome back to the Chef Boy RDN podcast with your host, the Chef Boy RDN. First, I want to say thank you for rocking with me. This is episode 17. We have one more episode in the season, and that's going to wrap season one for the Chef Boy RDN podcast. So, honestly, I hope that you have been enjoying. I hope that you learned something. And even if you didn't watch every single episode, which you should, hopefully you found one that was your favorite. Something that you can go back to and get little tips and pointers. One of my favorites to do was early on when I talked about water. I think I got a lot of questions, a lot of people realizing for the first time that they need to drink more water and lean into it. And so it's been fun. It's been a fun journey. This is not the end. This is just a little break between season one and season two. Just spoiler alert, I'm already working on season two. So we will see that in the not too near distant future, or not too distant near future. We gonna see it soon. How about that? So just strap in for that. But let's get into today's episode. Today we are myth busting. So look, I've been doing this for a minute now. I've been a dietitian for a minute. I've been a chef for a minute. I've been doing this podcast thing for a minute. And the amount of myths that I get from people on the daily basis is kind of crazy. So I wanted to take this episode to just kind of go through some, dispel the myths, and just keep it moving. Now, we do this kind of throughout a couple of our other shows. We talked about some myths with carbs. We talked about some myths when we did the fats. But this show specifically today is dedicated to all things myths. So let's jump right on in. Y'all know I got my notes, and we have upgraded. We started out with a tablet or a piece of paper, literally just taking notes. Now I have this tablet, and every time it turns to the side, it resets my notes. I don't like that, so I don't know how long this gonna last, but we're gonna go for it for now. Some of the myths that I want to talk about today. The first one is going to be one that I've already kind of talked about previously, which is carbs make you fat. Now, the truth is, this is crazy. Carbs don't make you fat. It is interesting how we got here, though, because there is the thing that makes myths so scary is a lot of them do have some rooted truth. So let's talk about carbs. Carbs are broken down into two different types of categories. We have our starches and sugars. These are the things that break down fairly quickly and give you that quick acting energy source. And then you have fiber. Fiber doesn't really break down at all in the body. We use it to aid in digestion. It helps to lower cholesterol. It also is good for feeding good gut bacteria that our body needs. So fiber is very important. We need that. Now, the other carbs, we need those too. That's our quick acting energy source. So if something was happening right now and I had to like jet set up out of here, that fast acting energy is going to give me the energy to run. You know what I'm saying? So you need both. The idea that carbs make you fat, I feel, or I hate to say fat. I think that's such a crazy term in the way that we use it now. But carbs make you gain weight, I think is a better way to say it. But anyway, carbs make you gain weight. Um, we know that if you eat an excess of carbs, your body will store it in its adipose tissue for later, but it does that with all foods. And so, what's a better thing to do is to eat in moderation, right? Versus trying to cut out all the carbs when you lose weight. When I went on my weight loss journey, I prioritized protein, but I did not cut out the carbs at all, right? And I've been very successful just because I still got to enjoy the foods that I like. I increased my protein. I did decrease the carbs, but I didn't cut them out. Um, I still have my sourdough bread. Y'all know how I feel about sourdough bread. And I'm not even a big bread eater, but give me a good sourdough any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? So I still eat that. I love fruit. I eat fruit all the time. I got watermelon, dragon fruit. We're going to try that again. Um, Rainer cherries, amazing. What else I got right now? Um, I'm missing some stuff. Strawberries, pineapples. Yeah. Oh, a sugar plum melon or a sugar melon. Oh my God, so good. It's a cantaloupe on steroids. It's super sweet. It's delicious. That's the fruit I currently have right now. All of those are carbs. And I'm not gaining any weight. So the point is moderation. Moderation is the goal. If you try to just get rid of carbs, a lot of times what happens is people people give up things and they're not ready to actually give them up. So you go cold turkey. And for a lot of people, they can't handle it. You have a stressful moment or a moment of celebration or a moment where you want to reward yourself because you've been doing really good. You have some carbs and then it kind of goes off the rails. So you got to be mindful of that. Now, when we talk about carbs, you do want to limit the amount of simple carbs, things like white bread and candy, cake, cookies, pies, you know, all the things, ice cream in the summertime right now. Um, you want to limit those things. But when we talk about carbs as a whole, you don't have to get rid of those. You can still incorporate good grains, beans, legumes, lentils, vegetables, of course, even fruit. These are things that are what we call whole foods that can be incorporated into a diet that helps you to maintain your current weight or even help you if it is your goal to lose some weight. So just be mindful of that. The second myth is if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Now, this is one of the craziest ones I've heard, and it has taken its toll recently. They will pronounce things that are just regular things. Ascorbic acid is vitamin C. You know, cholecalciferol is vitamin D. Riboflavin, you know, B5. I mean, it's just so many different things. And, or is riboflavin B2? Riboflavin is B2. But anyway, that's a stupid thing to think. The other thing is it gets really silly really fast if you say don't, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Because a lot of people don't always pronounce foods right, whether it's a dialect or it's where they come from or their tongue just may not be able to form the words. I mean, things trip me up all the time. And if there were things that I couldn't quite say the way I wanted to say them, and so that meant I couldn't eat them, that just sounds insane, right? Trying to think of is there anything that gets me? Not that I can think of, but I'm sure foie gras. Foie gras. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not supposed to ever eat it, you know? Um, Gastric, that doesn't really get me. But anyway, my point is if you can't pronounce it and you don't know what it is, that does not mean don't eat it. Maybe that means look it up. Hello? See what it is. See what it does for the body. If somebody said dihydrogen monoxide, that sounds crazy. Sounds like a chemical. Folks, that's water. So the whole idea of if you can't pronounce it, don't say it is crazy. Let's look at some more. Do you know what a Malus domestica is? That's an apple. What about a Prunus prosecca? That's a peach. What about Orza sativa? That's rice. Capsaicum annum. That's a chili pepper. You see what I'm saying? You see how crazy it is to think that just because something has a crazy name, you can't eat it off the bat. If you can't pronounce it, just look it up. If you don't know what it is, just look it up. And that's not to say that there are some things that your body doesn't need that they throw in there that are like just chemicals, whatever. We can have that conversation, but look it up to see. If you don't know what it is, just look it up. So the next myth is, let's say you had a crazy weekend where you ate whatever or drank whatever you wanted to drink. You feel like you have to detox after, or detoxing to lose weight. Now, this is probably going to be the most controversial one that I talk about today, but the whole idea of detoxing is a slippery slope. Okay. When we talk about trying to eat cleaner, if you will, cleaner is a buzzword, and it basically is having more simple foods that don't have a lot of chemicals or sugars or things like that. What I would say is focus on whole foods. Yeah, you can throw some cheat days in there where you living your best life or whatever, but for the most part, you want to try to live a holistic life when it comes to food. And what I mean by that is just locking into your vegetables, your grains, your beans, your meats. And when we talk about meats, like actual meat, chicken breast and you know, beef and whatever, fish. But even with that being said, do whatever you can do at the time, right? As far as the affordability, what's available to you. Some people live in places where all they can get is, pantry staples. And so try to find the best versions that are within your price range in that. But to think that you have a bad night and then you like somehow fix it by count or cancel it out by trying to eat better or some form of detox, our body just doesn't really work like that. The liver is our body's organ that detoxifies it. It helps to, and our kidneys, they help to purify our blood and detoxify, get, all the impurities and things that our body doesn't need out of it. And so our body has that built in. Now, if you are trying to um, eat lighter and maybe have some more vitamins and minerals, maybe you could juice for that. Um, if you're trying to, target certain health benefits of a specific type of thing, like tomatoes for the heart, or walnuts for the brain, or just drinking more water. All of those things are good, but the idea of a detox, taking a pill, it will, in the short term, it will help you to lose some weight because you'll get rid of a lot of waste. So if people want to lose weight quick, I'll tell them it's not necessarily my favorite way to do it. And I don't tell people this as a dietitian. I more so tell people this more as a friend. But it'll get you together. It'll get you together for that weekend, right? But it's not sustainable and it's not long lasting. It's gonna get that initial 5 to 10 pounds off. Normally, it's gonna get rid of bloating and things like that when you detox, because what it's doing is it's just you pooping a lot. You're letting it all out. And so your body is feeling better from doing that, but it's not reducing the fat, the adipose tissue. It's not changing your body chemistry. It's not increasing the muscle mass. So just keep that in mind when it comes to detoxing. It's not really, and it's not, your liver is already cleaning the body. Now you can, again, I'm cool with holistic. You can do different herbs and stuff, and they, oil of oregano, all of these things are powerful. But when it comes specifically, I'm talking about specifically detoxing, as in like juicing or eating very simple food, or after doing something that you felt like you overdid. Life doesn't really work like that. I would rather you just get back on the bandwagon and keep pushing, like just keep doing the thing that you need to do, just eating a good balanced meal. That makes sense. It makes sense. All right, fresh is better than frozen. Now this one, ha ha ha. So for me, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I tell people all the time, when it comes to fruits and vegetables, the way I personally tier it, and I'll tell y'all why I tier it the way I do, is fresh and frozen, pretty much same tier, and then under them is going to be your canned goods. The reason why, let's start. and work our way backwards. Let's start with canned goods. Canned goods are vegetables that are preserved in a can. It could be in a glass, it could be, whatever, but it's preserved some kind of way. Cheapest preserver out there, keep hitting this thing. The cheapest preservers out there are salt and sugar. So typically, if something is preserved like canned, it's going to be higher amounts of sodium or it's going to be higher amounts of sugar, right? So that's why I put it lower on the list, because we know that hypertension and type 2 diabetes, you know, are very high in America, right? We know hypertension and diabetes, both of those two things can lead to cardiovascular disease or contribute to cardiovascular disease, which is the number one killer in America today. So, you know, be mindful of those. Again, if that's all you can get in your area, then try to rinse off the salt solution. That can reduce the sodium by up to 60%. Now, that's not guaranteed, but it can reduce a lot of the sodium that's found in the can. But even with that, it's still going to be high in salt. So I don't want you to say, Chef Boy RD told me that if I rinse it, it's salt free. I ain't say that. So if you heard that from somebody, it wasn't me. Okay. Um, Same thing when it comes to fruit. If you are going to do canned, try to get it in its own natural juices, or you can do it in water if you want, but in its own natural juices is going to be better than, of course, like a heavy syrup or even a light syrup. Is you just want to do it in its own natural juices. It's going to have a lot less sugar. Now, moving up from that, let's talk about fresh. We're going to go all the way from fresh and then frozen. The benefits of canned, I'm sorry, jumping backwards a little bit, is that it lasts pretty much indefinitely. So you should always have kind of a pantry on hand for emergencies, some canned goods, so that if the power is out, snowstorm, natural disasters, whatever may happen, you at least have some canned goods that you can reach for. Right. So you want to keep them on hand. I'm not saying don't have them. I'm just saying when we tier it, it's probably going to be the lowest on the tiers for me because of the sodium and the sugar, so on and so forth. Now, fresh. The benefits of fresh is you get the vitamins, the nutrients. It's usually low in sodium because vegetables and fruits are naturally low in sodium typically, right? And it's not going to have as much sugar. Also, because it's so fresh and fluffy in a sense, you will eat less of it. It has more, uh, just, it fills you up a little quicker, right? So typically you tend to eat less when you eat fresh. And yeah, those are the benefits. The downside of fresh is it don't last long. Okay, we know that. I talk about strawberries all the time. I got some in there now, and I'm scared to go back and look and see what they look like because strawberries do not last. I don't know what has happened. I don't know what y'all did, but these strawberries ain't lasting. And I like strawberries, so I'm very upset. And I was growing strawberries this year, and they died. So I'm very upset. But my blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries did amazing. All right, enough of that. So that's the pros and the cons of fresh. Now let's talk about frozen. The reason why I always recommend frozen is because, like canned, as long as you got a freezer and you can keep them frozen, they store for a long time. Okay, not as long as canned, but they do store for a long time, months, 3 to 6 months. You can get a good store out of those vegetables. Frozen, believe it or not, is fairly affordable. You can get those little packs. And when I talk about frozen vegetables, I'm not talking about the ones that's already done up in the sauce or whatever. I'm talking about the ones that are just the vegetables. The beauty of them are they pick them at ripe peakness or peak ripeness. I said that backwards. And then they freeze them. And they do what we call IQF, individually quick frozen. And basically they flash freeze it. And so it's preserved by it just being cold. It doesn't have any salt added to it. It doesn't have any additional sugar added to it. So you still get the benefits. You get a lot of those vitamins and minerals that you get from fresh, and it lasts longer and it's pretty affordable. So that's why I like frozen. I always have frozen Brussels sprouts, broccoli, green beans. What else? Spinach. Um, what else do I keep frozen? Those are kind of my main vegetables that I keep frozen. I don't really do medley like that. Cauliflower, I'll keep some cauliflower frozen. Okra, oh my God, how did I forget about the okra? Y'all know I have an obsession with okra. So I keep that frozen on hand. And the good thing about frozen vegetables too is, especially in the wintertime, easy to make soups with. You know, you can throw them in a soup, chicken broccoli or cheddar broccoli soup, easy with frozen vegetables. Any type of spinach situation, like a spinach dip or creamed spinach or spinach stuffed chicken, easy with frozen spinach. So, frozen vegetables are going to be amazing. All right, my last myth for today is snacking is bad for you. Now, this one is interesting because I think it's rooted in a form of truth, but it's not the truth. And what I mean by that is snacking is beneficial for you if you do it right. Okay. If you are snacking and it fills you up to where you can't have a full meal, then you probably need to rethink some things. If you go a full day and you do really well as far as I'm only eating this, and this. And then the nighttime comes and you're starved and you just get the snack bug. Um, that's not the best either, right? If all of your snacks aren't balanced, that's not going to be the best either. So, whenever I talk about snacks with my patients, with my clients, um, we talk about snacks as mini meals. What I mean by that is just like you want your meals to be balanced, you want to try to have your snacks be balanced as well, right? So pairing proteins with the carbohydrates, pairing fats with carbohydrates, pairing proteins, fats, and carbs, so that you get the most bang out of your buck. Because a snack is supposed to give you a little energy to help hold you over to that next meal, right? And when it comes to a snack, we know that quick acting energy is going to come from your carbs, but what helps you to sustain that energy is going to be fiber, fat, and protein. So, an example of that is instead of maybe just having an apple, maybe do apple and a little yogurt. Yogurt's going to give you some protein, it's also going to give you some fat. Um, if you do a cheese stick, you can do it with a couple pieces of crackers, right? We know the crackers going to give you the carbs, quick acting energy, and then the cheese stick is going to give you, again, fat and protein. Nuts with fruit, or nut butters with fruit, like peanut butter and apples, celery and peanut butter, if you're into that kind of thing. So you just want to make sure that your snacks are balanced. But having those snacks, the good thing about snacks is they help to maintain your metabolism. So all our metabolism is basically the rate that our body uses energy to do its daily processes. I don't know if that's the technical definition, but that sounds amazing. I need to write that down. And so when it comes to your metabolism, if you have a fast metabolism, that means that your body burns energy quickly, sometimes too quickly, right? Um, if you have a slow metabolism, that means that your body burns energy a lot slower. The thing about the metabolism is it kind of cranks up when you eat your first meal. When you eat your first meal, it tells your body, okay, something's coming down. We got some energy to work with, so let's get moving, right? And it starts cranking up. As you get to hour 3, hour 4, that metabolism starts to drop because that energy is being used up or stored or whatever it's doing, right? We know that it takes the body about 4-ish hours to digest food. Um, so then after that, if you don't eat another meal within that 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours max, your metabolism might drop all the way back down, right? So that's where snacks come in because maybe you're not hungry for a full meal within 3 or 4 hours, But if you eat a snack, instead of it dropping all the way down, it comes back up and it creates more of a steady stream versus like these big hills and valleys, right? And so when you do that, it helps to stabilize your metabolism more. And then once you're done eating, your metabolism can do whatever it needs to do to reset, but it helps your body to be more efficient in how it burns energy. It's kind of like a fire, right? If you're feeding a fire, if you wait until a fire goes or is about to go out before you feed it, you have to put so much more energy into that fire to get it back cranked up. But if you know the fire is starting to die down and you just feed a little piece of wood, right, it's going to keep going. And it's the same thing with our metabolism. So those are all the myths. We went through 5 today. All right, what's the 5? I don't know. Let's look. Carbs make you gain weight. Not true. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Why are we even saying that? You have to detox after a crazy meal or weekend. Frozen is better. And then the last thing is snacking isn't healthy for you. So I hope this sheds some light on these myths. I hope that, you ain't got to take my word for it, as LeVar Burton says. Go look it up. I promise you will find it. Everything I told you today is absolutely factual. With a little razzle dazzle, a little bit of me in there, you know what I'm saying? But these are the facts. So I don't want you going around spreading these myths. I want you to know that all of these things are okay to do. Frozen, let's do it. And who got time to be always buying fresh? What's happening? Anyway, that is everything on that. Next is Chef Boy RDN Tries It. Welcome back for Chef Boy RDN Tries It, and today we have a not so guest person, my wife. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So the last time you were here, you tried something, and the time before that, you basically said that up until that point you hadn't tried anything good.
Mm-hmm.
But then we tried the jackfruit, and you liked it.
Yes, the jackfruit chips.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
What?
I'm going to take you back. Okay? Follow me on this journey.
Okay.
When we tried the fruit. You remember that?
Uh-huh.
The dragon fruit.
Uh-huh.
The pink dragon fruit.
Uh-huh.
How'd you feel again? I can't remember.
0 out of 10. I did not recommend.
So after that episode, we actually had a few people reach out to us, but specifically there were 2 that were very adamant about trying the yellow ones, right?
Yes, our cousins. Yep.
Yeah, shout out to our cousins. They definitely reached out to us.
Yes. Soon to be in Missa.
Not in Capitol Heights, I know that, but let's keep it going. So, they told us to try the yellow dragon fruit. So what I did was I bought it. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. This joint stabbed me. Okay?
He did.
Y'all got to be careful. She had to literally
pick it out of him.
She had to pull a splinter out of my finger. Now,
yes.
I'm a G, so it wasn't nothing. I legit looked at her and said, "Hey, pull it out." Is that not what happened?
That is exactly what happened.
And she pulled it out, and then I cut it up. And so we got some yellow dragon fruit. Now, surprise. The last time with the fruit, you also talked about yellow watermelon.
Yes.
So guess what I got? Yes, we got some yellow watermelon to try as well.
My God.
So, yes, this is your segment at this point. You tell me how we gonna go. What do you want to try first?
Okay, I want to try. I want to try the dragon fruit.
Okay,
just get it out the way. Hopefully, it's good. I really hope y'all didn't steer us wrong, because then I'm gonna have to call you tonight.
Now, I will say, I also talked to my brother after he watched it, and he said that I should have let the dragon fruit sit a little longer, like to ripen. So what I did was I took the yellow dragon fruit, bought it a couple days ago, let it sit. Okay. So we did both the things that everybody told us to do. Now, looking at it, it does look different. It's a little more translucent, wouldn't you say? It's not as
Mm-hmm.
white as the last one. And the seeds are actually bigger.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Anything else?
No, I'm just ready to try it.
All right, let's give it a try. Let's go for it.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous. Please be good.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my gosh.
Much better.
This is good.
So much better.
Okay, y'all were right. Y'all were right.
So much better.
Oh, this is good.
It's sweeter.
Hmm.
It has more flavor. The last one was sweet, but it tasted like sweet nothings.
It's like a better kiwi, which I love kiwi, but it gives me a kiwi vibe.
Better kiwi. Let's not get carried away. But it does give kiwi vibes, for real, for real.
It is. It's a better version of a kiwi.
And you know what? I will say it does remind me of a kiwi, but I'm one of those people that have the kiwi burn. You know, it's genetic, and this isn't giving me that.
Kiwi
I still,
burn?
yeah,
Like it burns your tongue?
Yeah. Does kiwi burn your tongue?
No.
Yeah. It totally burns my tongue.
You're allergic?
Like lightly allergic. Do I care? I do not.
I just crunched the seed.
No,
That was
good.
Interesting. Bite one of them seeds. That pop is weird.
It's like a kiwi seed. Honestly.
Guys, I'm eating all of this. Like,
no, this
that's
is good.
a first. I normally take a little sip or a little bite.
This is definitely good. So we
10 out of 10.
We appreciate all of
10
your
out of 10. 10 out of 10. Oh my god.
All of your Tennessee, Mississippi bread recommendations. And let's cleanse it with a little water. We gotta try to work. Oh, you really did. You finished it. That's
we got more?
Nah, that's it. This joint was $1 million a dragon fruit.
That was
like
good.
Really $1,001. I got it on credit. But yeah, it was pretty expensive. So, all right, let's try the yellow watermelon. Mm-hmm. This is what it looks like. Literally looks like a watermelon that's yellow. Put it right here. Make sure you get a good piece. Now it smells good. It smells like watermelon, but it almost has an underlying floral smell to it.
It's good.
It's sweet.
It's good. I wish it was cold.
I know. I when I bought it, I didn't put it in the refrigerator. My bad.
Oh, that's good though.
But it is good. And I'm a watermelon connoisseur. Blame it on my genetics. Blame it on my historical my historical DNA. But I love watermelon. Like, epic fan.
This is really good. It's sweet. It has a watermelon vibe, but it's a little sweeter than a regular watermelon, but not like nasty.
To me, it almost has more of a, again, like a, not in a bad way, not like that strong rose floral, but it has more of a floral vibe to it. To me.
I don't get flowers.
I'm not saying flowers. It's just more botanical.
I get sugar cane.
Okay, I can give you that.
Have you had sugar cane before? Hey, yo!
I've had a lot of things before.
Tried a lot of things.
But, no, this is good.
Yeah, okay, I need to stop. So, because it's late, and if I have to keep waking up
and we drinking water, it's
gonna be a crazy night. I'm gonna get no sleep. You know, it's watermelon. But 10 out of 10.
So definitely, it's the summertime. Everything is ripe right now. Go get you some good fruit. We got some raining cherries in there. She don't do cherries. That's another story for another day.
Trauma.
I'm in love. I'm obsessed. We got some sugar melon, which is basically a cantaloupe on steroids. Mm-hmm. We keep strawberries in the house, blueberries. I mean, this is just fruit season.
Ooh, you already know what is my top fruit that I keep in the house.
Grapes. And
grapes.
Can I tell y'all before we go?
Don't tell my business.
She
Don't tell my
legit
business. My business.
like is obsessed. But
Yes,
she does. Shout out to you. You know what? You picked the best grapes. I
I
can't
do.
even lie.
I
Honestly,
do. A good snap, a good
honestly, it's really good.
fresh, no soggy grapes here. You
No
come to my
soggy
house, you
grapes.
get in the best of the best.
Well, don't invite people. But anyway,
I'm the
this
hostess with the mostest.
but not
Invitation only.
invitation only. And this wasn't one. But anyway, this was Chef Boy
Wow.
RDN tries it. And we are back for the vitamin of the week this week. I'm keeping her around because why not? You know what I'm saying? So the vitamin of the week this week is iodine. What do you know about iodine?
What? That's a vitamin?
So technically
I
it's a
didn't know
mineral.
that. Okay.
It's a mineral, but we've been doing for the vitamin of the week.
Uh,
We've been switching up vitamins and minerals because why
okay.
not? You know.
Well, to answer your question, I know that iodine can be used as a cleanser or a, is it called a disinfectant, I guess?
Yeah.
And I can't really remember anything. I feel like we used to use iodine to do test strips or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
that's all I got.
iodine, one of the most famous places that you can get iodine from is salt. Iodized salt.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Which is table salt, basically. And the things that iodine do in the body, the main thing it does is it actually helps with our thyroid. It helps to make T3 and T4, which is the thing that helps to regulate our metabolism. So, you know, our metabolism is basically the thing that tells our body, or it's the thing that basically lets us know how efficient our body is burning energy, right? If you have a high metabolism, you're going through that energy really quick. If you have a low metabolism, you're not going through that energy real quick.
Mm.
Okay. It also helps to regulate body temperature and energy levels.
Hmm.
And this is all through the thyroid. So, you know, the thyroid helps to regulate a lot of those things. It's also critical in brain development, especially when you are pregnant for infants while
Mm.
they're growing in your stomach. The last thing it does is it helps to support nerve and muscle function. So that's everything that iodine does. Now, foods that you can find iodine in. I just gave you a big one.
Salt.
Salt. Yes. You can also find iodine. I'm gonna give you one more. Let's see if you can get this one. So a lot of people get it from. It's not salt, but it's from the sea, and they blend it up into a gel.
Sea moss.
Yes. So you can also get it from seaweed,
Oh.
aka sea moss,
Oh.
all those kinds of things. And it's basically the natural iodine that's found basically like in the salt water, right?
Mm.
You can also get it from seafood. Again,
Mm-hmm.
saltwater seafood. You can get it from dairy products like milk, yogurt, cheese,
Mm-hmm.
eggs, as well as fortified foods. Some foods are fortified with iodine.
So would you say that somebody who shouldn't take in much salt, should they avoid foods with iodine?
That's a good question. So, people who are managing how much iodine they should have probably should limit for sure the table salt, maybe the seaweed. Everything else, you should always consult with your doctor and your dietitian to make sure.
Hmm.
Okay. And most people who deal with iodine in general are people who have some type of thyroid issue. So, whether they have hypothyroidism, where their thyroid is not acting as quickly as it should, or hyperthyroidism, where their thyroid is going like super fast, right? And interesting fact, because most of your iodine in your body ends up in your thyroid, when you have hyperthyroidism, one of the ways they treat it is they give you some radioactive iodine. And you take it and it goes through your body, it ends up in your thyroid. And because it's radioactive, it kills a piece of your thyroid, making it a lot less hyperactive.
Mm.
Kind of crazy, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Um, So let's talk
Science.
about deficiency. Deficiency can cause goiter. Goiter is when people have that very big, thick,
Neck.
swollen neck, and you can tell it's not just a big neck person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
A
it's something
medical
wrong. Yeah,
condition.
you can
Yeah.
see it. Um, it also can lead to hypothyroidism. So if you aren't getting enough iodine in to make the T4 and the T3, um, it can lead to hypothyroidism, which will lead to fatigue, weight gain, and cold intolerance. Like you can't handle the cold anymore.
Mm.
You can also find deficiency if you're deficient in pregnancy. It can actually raise the risk of having a miscarriage, a
Mm.
stillbirth, or intellectual disability. So you want to make sure you're definitely getting enough iodine when you are pregnant. Now, people who are higher in risk, at risk for iodine deficiency, are people who don't use iodized salt, obviously, because
Mm-hmm.
that's the main place you get it. Vegans, people who are
Mm.
vegan and plant based, they got to be careful because a lot of the iodine that's in their diet is from meat and
Mm-hmm.
meat based or plant or meat based products. Can't talk today. And then people who are pregnant and breastfeeding, just because a lot of the iodine is going to the baby. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to be mindful. Toxicity. So if you take in too much, it can cause thyroid dysfunction. So it could either be hypo or hyperthyroidism. It could cause thyroiditis, which is a form of inflammation of the thyroid. And people with autoimmune thyroid disease, even moderate excess may trigger symptoms. So if you're having too much and you have an autoimmune disease with your thyroid, it can trigger those symptoms. That's pretty much everything on iodine. Iodine is very important for us, but you don't want to overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
For us, we don't really use iodine salt. We do use sea salt, so it does have some iodine in it, but we don't use typical table salt. But we eat seaweed and a lot of different things like that, so we do a pretty good job of getting some iodine.
Yeah.
Most times, if you have a deficiency, your body will let you know. But you can always get it checked if you are curious. Again, going to the doctor or talking to your dietitian.
Sounds good.
All right, and that is everything on iodine. All right, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. My name is Chef Boy RDN. Of course, this is my wife, Mrs. Chef Boy RDN,
Oh,
and
I love it.
and this is episode 17. So as I said last time, we have one more episode left for season 1.
Wow, that went by fast.
It went by fast. And we are already working on season 2. I got some good things coming. You will be seeing actually more of Mrs. Chef Boy RDN. As y'all know, she is a lawyer in her own right. And so I got some things I want to talk to her about.
Hmm.
Hopefully, well, I'm saying hopefully, but I know for a fact season 2, we're going to have a lot more guests, a lot of people coming on to just talk about different things when it comes to health overall. So
You could be one too.
maybe. So, so what I want you to do is for sure send questions. If you follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, DM me questions that you may have because I want to feature them season 2. I want to get to answering some of your everyday questions. If it's about nutrition, health overall, physical activity, I'll do what I can. But yeah, send in your questions. You got any questions?
Um.
Send them in. So we will talk to y'all next week on the Chef Boy RDN podcast. It's been my pleasure. Any long lasting words? Long
No,
lasting words
you
is
told me to
crazy.
send them in. I'm
You should send them in. Or you can just sit on the couch and ask them the
a.
next time.
Don't.
Season 2. I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.